Good morning from the National Weather Service in Raleigh, North Carolina. My name is Aaron Swiggett, and I will be providing the routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina, covering the period Thursday through Wednesday, which is the 28th of September through October 4th. All right, we'll go ahead and start off with the fresh off the presses Thursday drought outlook from the North Carolina State Climate Office from our neighbors downstairs. So this will encompass a lot of the rainfall that was associated with Ophelia. And for the most part, only slight improvements for the most part across the area. The axis of heavier rainfall really kind of fell in the areas where, well, we did have some of the heavier precip and reductions, as you can see this last week's drought map. A lot of the heavier rainfall over the northern coastal plain, including Edgecombe and Halifax County, was reduced over that area. But rainfall rates and any kind of training really stopped as we headed a little bit farther west for that area. So we'll still have some patchy, abnormally dry conditions, and a spot down here in Anson County where they still have some moderate drought where they missed out on a lot of that rainfall, if any, across a lot of that area. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the upcoming weather pattern. For the most part, we're going to stay in a very similar pattern. We have high pressure up to the north and east today. You can see up in this upper left-hand panel here, and it kind of hedges down through the mid-Atlantic down into central North Carolina and portions of the southeast. This will slightly weaken today into Friday, but then will become reinforced again with another area of high pressure that kind of migrates slightly towards the west, or retrogrades as we say, up over the northeast and eastern Canada, and that will then migrate back down through the mid-Atlantic and the southeast. You can see here in the bottom left how we have a pretty wide expansive area of high pressure to the north, and then continuing to influence the region. And that'll begin this weekend into the mid portions of the week. And temperatures will be coolest today, but will warm up back to above normal with temperatures into the upper 70s and even low 80s by this weekend. Monday looks to be the warmest, with maybe an increasing in cloud cover Tuesday and Wednesday. But yeah, above normal temperatures don't really mean the oppressive heat that we're used to. So above normal is actually still fairly comfortable for this time of year. And with that expansive area high pressure, you can kind of see we don't really have any rainfall expected for the 5-day totals, maybe some patches of drizzle overnight into the early morning hours. But for the most part, remaining very dry with no appreciable rainfall expected. And with that, I decided to go ahead and skip the severe weather slides as well as the excessive rainfall, because we're not expecting really any rain and high pressure dominating most of the area. So heading into the 8 to 14 day outlook, courtesy of the Climate Prediction Center, you can see on the left-hand panel here, we have 60 to 70% chances of above normal temperatures. And the 3 graphics down there at the bottom for Greensboro, Raleigh, and Fayetteville show the normal temperatures during that time frame, which is early to mid-October of the 5th through the 11th. So normal temperatures for highs in the low to mid 70s and lows in the low 50s, but 50 to 70% chances of above normal temperatures. So slightly above normal for that. And then very near normal chances for precipitation expected across the area for that time frame, with maybe even a little bit below average to our north and west. All right, and also fresh off the presses, we have the 7-day graphical weather outlook, and we have Philippe, has been out there for a little while, but slowly meandering through the central to western portions of the Atlantic towards the Caribbean. But there's still a high degree of uncertainty in terms of the intensity and track over the next 7 days, and a lot of that is largely associated with the newly developed and Invest Area 91 that has now been named Tropical Storm Rena. And again, the confidence in track of that is also below normal because of the potential interactions between those two. So we'll keep an eye on those and see how they develop over the next 7 days, but not really expected to make a whole lot of movement over the next 7 days, really hanging out in very similar locations. And that's all I really have. So high pressure really dominates the forecast. Kind of see down there at the bottom, the little graphical area of some patchy drizzle and some partly to mostly cloudy conditions. But then we give way to very sunny conditions and warming up into the upper 70s to even low to mid 80s, approaching the weekend into mid portions of the next week. And no hazardous weather is expected at this time. Thank you so much for joining me on this Thursday. You have a great weekend.